Hello and welcome to News Central Television. I am Lekon Onobanjo. The top stories at this hour. Suspended Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara hails President Bola Tinubu's role in restoring peace in the state. At least 88 confirmed dead as death toll rises following devastating floods in Niger State. 12 people, including 11 Sudanese migrants and a Libyan driver, killed in deadly auto accident. Details to come your way shortly. Let's begin by telling you that former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and the Pan-Yoruba Socio-Political Organization, Afenifere, have disagreed with the ruling All Progressives Congress over President Bola Tinubu's performance in office. On May 29, President Tinubu reeled out his achievements in office in the last 2 years, saying he has not only improved security, but also grown the economy. Describing the Tinubu-led government as exhibiting anti-democratic tendencies, economic mismanagement, and disregard for the welfare of Nigerians, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar warned that the country risks becoming a one-party state where power is abused and accountability is eroded. Also reacting, the Pan-Yoruba Socio-Political Organization, Afenifere, lamented that the impact of Tinubu's economic reforms has continued to bite harder on Nigerians. The APC, however, said while Tinubu's predecessors avoided tackling complex challenges, the president has confronted all challenges without hesitation. To discuss this, we're joined by the Director of Research of Socio-Cultural Association, Afenifere, and the Secretary, Steering Committee of the Eminent Members Forum, Akin Fakponda. Mr. Fakponda, thank you so much for joining us on the news.
Very much. Good afternoon, viewers.
Let's start with your honest assessment of President Tinubu's 2 years in office.
The president and the political class, they are on the wrong course. They are misdirected. And no matter what they achieve, they are not on the right course at all. Why do I say that? The government says they are doing the road to Calabar at 13 or 15 trillion naira, one project. That's colossal. What is the impact of that in the last 2 years now? No impact. The road from Ibadan to Ilesha to Akure is the worst in the world that is being used by individuals. No attention to it. That's wrong. The government is saying they are going to give loans to students. They are impoverishing the students in the future. So students will borrow money to go to school. When are you going to pay back? That's the kind of thing that the government is touting that they've achieved. Now the government is borrowing. We are indebted to about 144 trillion naira currently. And this week, they just submitted another request for $21 billion. When are we going to pay back all these monies? It's unbelievable that we're on the wrong course. We're on the wrong course.
But the president has said that security and economy have improved. What's your take on that?
Well, everything is relative in life. Every day you wake up, life is going on, but by what magnitude? Just now, I ordered a plate of rice in a second-rate restaurant, 8,000 naira. Just rice, plantain, and 2 pieces of beef, 8,000 naira. As at last month, you coppers has been paid 33,000 naira per month. So can you coppers afford to go and eat a plate of rice in a second-rate restaurant in Abuja at 8,000 naira a plate? This is how you measure performance. This is how cement is now 10,000 naira a bag. That's how you measure performance. Petrol is still 900 naira a liter. That's how you measure performance. I don't know. Well, they are enjoying themselves. They are closing roads. They're having SUVs everywhere. That's okay. Does that affect ordinary Nigerians? It doesn't.
Now, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, accused the president of anti-democratic tendencies, economic mismanagement, part of the things you just talked about, and disregard for the welfare of Nigerians. Does this mean that the president is guilty as charged, even as he has come out to say that his policies are actually yielding results?
Well, the political class, they are so self-serving. Not one of them is exempted. Atiku, he just want to achieve his lifelong ambition. Tinubu's turn, so it's Atiku's turn to rule over us. Can we afford 36 state governments? Can we afford 36 state assemblies drawing money? Can we afford 750 parastatals under Rosario report? Can we, the structure of Nigeria good? Do we have resources free to run the lives of Nigerians? We don't, so they all want to occupy positions and they buy new SUVs and buy new jets. They are misdirected, all of them, without exception.
So then what should have been the direction of this administration having come into power 2 years ago?
It is to cut down on the cost of governance. It is to find out what happened to the colossal money spent on Port Harcourt and Warri refinery. Government resigned on the account of that. Under the watch of government, you promised 2 refineries and you spent billions of dollars on its maintenance, and the job being closed down this month. Government resigned because of that, because of the relation of duty. But we are talking about defections from Delta states. Fubara is facing President Tinubu for good work. And they are celebrating ECOWAS that have disintegrated. What's ECOWAS? ECOWAS should be shut down. The whole of this week is shut down to circulate ECOWAS. Which ECOWAS now? So I said so that the political class, they are just facing a wrong direction. They are just doing what I regard as workless work, motion without movement. So sadly, that's the situation.
But this administration will probably come out to say that we've seen stability in the exchange rates for a couple of weeks now, if not months, and inflation has dropped by about 10% thereabouts. And we're also seeing stability and a reduction in pump price. Isn't that something to at least be cheery about?
You know, human nature, anything you do has impact. If you poo in the toilet, maggots we have to eat, so that's a positive impact. But do you want maggots to be eating poo? Is that achievement? Well, the government has done something. I mean, we are selling over 1 million barrels of crude oil every day. Money is coming in. The governors are awarding contracts. They are doing all kinds of things. If you come to Abuja now, the whole street is occupied by billboards. 2027 election. So something is being done, but is it the aggregate of what should advance the country? That's the issue. Nothing you do is totally useless. But what is the positive impact? Are we making progress as a nation? Fundamental progress, not incremental. What is, okay, inflation reduced from 24 to 23%. What is 1% in what we are talking now? I told you about a plate of rice is now 8,000 in a restaurant in Abuja. Cement used to be 1,005, it is now 10,000. Those are majestics for measuring the government performance.
But then would you blame the problems of the country solely on the president when we also have state governors or governments who are meant to actually bring the dividends of democracy closer to the people?
The federal government is the the presidency is the most powerful occupation office in the world. The government has unlimited powers. To show example, President Tinubu awarded contract 13 trillion Lagos Calabar Road without talking to anybody, without National Assembly concurrence, without debate, without design. That's an example he's giving to the states. The states don't have budget. Since when did you see budget performance from Lagos State or from Osun State or from any state for that matter? The umbrella of federal government is what covers all the state governments. If the federal government was to be frugal and quite directed in what it's doing, the states will take you. But federal government shares its own money every month. The states come to be able to share their own, and they do what they like with it. No accountability. Is impunity unlimited. Local government now, they want revenue directly from federal government. Who is making them to be accountable? Nothing. Nothing. Emefiele had the temerity to go to court to say that his building was seized wrongly. He has no shame to be associated with 753 houses as a public servant. He filed a case this week, challenging government takeover of 753 houses, one individual, no shame. Somebody should be crying, should be shot if it had to be Korea or China. But he went to court asking that the houses should be returned to him. This is where we are in Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Dr. Akin Fakponda, for sharing your thoughts with us on the news.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
We hope that Nigeria will get it right in time soon. But then we move on. May 29 marks a significant milestone for government officials across Nigeria, commemorating the inauguration of the presidents and governors into office. However, in Rivers State, the mood is subdued due to the ongoing emergency rule. Residents are expressing alarm over the uncertainty gripping the state, with many questioning the implications of the emergency rule on governance and democracy. The Central's Biola Festus has more in this report.
Unlike previous years, where May 29th was marked with significant activities to celebrate milestones achieved in governance, this year's May 29th is quite different in Rivers State, as both the governor and legislators remain suspended following the declaration of emergency rule in the state. Rivers State residents are concerned that the uncertainty in the political climate has been a major setback for the state.
At this point, we are thinking that Rivers State should be on the competition table with every other growing state, like Lagos State. And we're also thinking that investors would have actually covered the entire Rivers State and be attracted to our local government areas that we have in Rivers State. But unfortunately, that is not the case.
Nobody to be held accountable for their stewardship. Today marks 2 years of handover from the previous administration to the current administration that was suspended. Nobody to hold.
Meanwhile, youth groups across Niger Delta states under the platform of Coalition of Niger Delta Ethnic Nationalities held a procession in Port Harcourt, demanding the return of democratically elected officials in Rivers State. The group's leader fears that if not challenged, such undemocratic precedents may upturn the Nigerian political landscape.
Rivers State did not vote for Tinubu to present budget for Rivers State. We voted for him to handle the national issues. We voted for the Rivers State House of Assembly to pilot the affairs of our legislative arms of government, not the National Assembly. It is not about the interests of Sim Fubra, it is about the interests of the Nigerian Constitution.
An injury to one is an injury to all. The issue of sole administrator in Rivers State is very, very strange to us. We are politically bereaved in Rivers State, and we say no.
Today is Rivers turn. Tomorrow it might be Akwa Ibom. The next day it might be Delta State. The other day it might be Ondo State. Let this aberration that has been done to Rivers State be immediately reversed. While this matter is still at its early and tender age, we want Mr. President to quickly swing into action and reverse that mistake.
With government policies shaping the economy of every society, the business class is also feeling the pinch as instability in governance has created some level of uncertainty for businesses in the state.
Those of us that does business that require electricity, for instance, you see that we've been having these power failures in our various local governments and businesses, and it has affected our business so well that a lot of businesses are folding.
Within this period of trying time, let all parties involved sue for peace to make sure that we'll have a prosperous River State, not just for only citizens, even for all those who want to come and do business in River State.
The situation in River State remains complex, with various groups, residents, and stakeholders calling for clarity and stability in governance. In Port Harcourt for News Central, Biola Festus.
In the meantime, suspended Governor Siminalayo Fubara has confirmed that peace and reconciliation efforts are currently underway to reinstate all suspended executive and legislative officers in the state, including mending ties with his political godfather, Nyesom Wike. Speaking at a meeting with party leaders and supporters as part of events marking his 2 years in office, Fubara called on Rivers people to appreciate President Bola Tinubu for his intervention, which helped prevent the political crisis in the state from escalating further. He also appealed for understanding and forgiveness from those who have been disappointed in how he managed the crisis that led to his suspension.
Because without him, protest will solve the problem now. The protest at the end, but he came in at the right time and he salvaged a very, very worse and terrible situation. So let me thank him here for that intervention. The intervention that has given us this opportunity to still address ourselves. My deputy, as Excellency, and myself to address.
We now go on a break on the news. When we return, at least 88 confirmed dead as death toll rises following devastating floods in Niger State. We'll tell you more when we return. Don't go away. Thanks for staying with us. Reactions have trailed establishment of the National Credit Guarantee Company with an initial capital of 100 billion naira by President Bola Tinubu. Tinubu also approved the constitution of the NCGC board, appointing Yakubu Dogara, former Speaker of the House of Representatives, as chairman. Announcing the development in a statement on Thursday, the presidency said the company is a transformative institution designed to de-risk lending and boost access to finance for micro, small, and medium enterprises. The NCGC is also expected to serve small corporates, manufacturers, consumers, and large enterprises across Nigeria. To help us make sense of this, we're joined by the President, Association of Small Business Owners of Nigeria, Dr. Femi Egbeshola. Dr. Egbeshola, thank you so much for talking to us at this time.
Thank you also for having me.
So what are your thoughts about the newly established National Credit Guarantee Company?
For me, it's a right step in the right direction. This is one of the initiatives we in the micro, small, and medium enterprises sector have been looking forward to. Of course, you will remember that over the years, one major factor that has been a challenge to MSMEs has been finance, access to finance. It's been very, very difficult. So with this initiative, we are very hopeful that we will now be able to have more access to finance because the guarantee scheme is going to now de-risk the MSME sector. It is going to act more or less like a guarantor to MSMEs, such that if we approach participating banks, we will now be able to have some form of guarantee coming from the guarantee scheme or guarantee scheme limited, where a certain percentage of the fund given to us will be guaranteed by the institution. We look forward to a guarantee of as much as 50 to 70% if possible. And that means that banks that always see us as very high risk will no longer see us as that. It means that we will have more access to funding. And when we have more access to funding, we'll be able to grow and scale. Remember, too, that we are the provider of over 80% of the employment in the nation. So if we grow, the nation itself grows. It's also going to stimulate grassroots economic growth, too, to help us to be able to also contribute more meaningfully to the GDP. And of course, this is the time we are talking about export. We want to be championing non-oil exports, not just oil alone. It's been very difficult to engage in non-oil export because of funding. This also is going to provide a veritable platform for us to be able to now have enough funds to export. It will also help to fight poverty, because by the time the MSMEs are doing well, we will be able to create more jobs. And that in itself will reduce poverty.
So this 100 billion naira initiative is designed to de-risk lending and boost access to finance for MSMEs, as you've said. Are there any hidden encumbrances in terms of criteria for those who would be, for those who would have to access this particular facility, and of course, probably pay back on it?
Well, at the moment, we are not sure of the terms and conditions. The rule of the game is not yet very clear. It's just a pronouncement by the president. It is going to really become operational in the month of July. By then, we are going to see the exact terms and conditions that guide this. But for us, we will advise that government should not introduce unnecessary bottlenecks that has always been the case in initiatives like this. At the end of the day, they bar MSMEs from being able to access it. We also want government to be able to create enough awareness. Awareness is key, so that MSMEs in themselves will be able to know about this initiative and participate meaningfully about it. That's not left alone for the government. We on our own, business membership organizations like ASBON, it will also begin to carry out enough sensitization to prepare our members to be able to access it and ensure that they are credit worthy and credit ready to be able to access it. One of it is by ensuring that they keep their records, they register their business with CAC, they formalize and structure their businesses in a way that they can enjoy this. We also want to mention here that other initiatives like this have been hijacked by politicians, so to speak. We call them political business owners. We hope it's not going to be like that this time. We hope it's not going to be about favoritism, whereby the real MSMEs will be sidelined. We also believe that if this will work, it's important for government to have a strong handshake with the stakeholders in the ecosystem, stakeholders like some of us who are housing a number of these MSMEs that knows where the two pinch is, that knows how to contribute meaningfully to policies like this. It is important for that handshake to be there so that government will understand the real needs of these MSMEs, know how they can intervene with this credit guarantee company, such that eventually we'll be able to track the impacts and the success. And we will be able to now say, okay, government, we have 100 billion this time. Can we have more because of the measurable impact we've been able to see over a period of time?
And for an economy that is still struggling with exchange rates, import duties and all, do you think that more gains will be achieved looking at the pre-existing economic situations that businesses in Nigeria still face?
Of course, high interest rates, unavailability of FX, sometimes instability of FX, very high cost of energy and all of that are part of those that has eroded us of our finances. It has eroded us of our capital. It has eroded us of our profits. And now we are cap in hand looking for funds everywhere. So this initiative for me is a soft landing for us if it is well implemented, because implementation is another thing. I think it's going to really solve a lot of challenges that surround finance for MSMEs. And beyond that, I also want to look at the possibility of for other investors, international investors, coming on board now, knowing that the seemingly high-risk sector is now being de-risked by the incoming National Credit Guarantee Company. I also think that with this, we'll have other guarantee companies that are available before now, being able to synergize and work with this new company. But remember that we have one from the Development Bank of Nigeria known as the Impact Guarantee Company. I think there should be a synergy whereby we will now be able to have a seamless funding and access to finance for MSMEs. That's the way to go. We see that the right step in the right direction. And for me, what's next to see is government rolling it out and helping to ensure that the real sector, the MSMEs, are the actual beneficiaries of this wonderful initiative.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Femi Egbeshola, for talking to us.
Thank you very much for having me once more.
Away from that, the death toll from devastating floods in Mokwa, Niger State, has climbed sharply. Emergency officials now say at least 88 people have been confirmed dead, with many more still unaccounted for. Officials say the flooding followed hours of torrential rain on Wednesday night, submerging more than 50 homes in Market Town. The National Emergency Management Agency says rescue efforts began early on Thursday morning and are still ongoing. The Niger State Emergency Management Agency earlier confirmed 36 deaths, but the figure has surged as more bodies are recovered. Rescue teams are searching for the missing, with concerns that the toll could still rise.
Yeah, the search and rescue operation, we actually came in the morning, about 6 o'clock. We deploy our men to the scene. I was also coordinating the search and rescue operation, and as I'm speaking to you, it is ongoing. Dead recovery is still ongoing.
I lost something too much. If I didn't lose any family, we are escaping. But my property, all they are missing. So we need to help the government to help us, because we didn't have anywhere to go now. Even today like this, I sleep inside garage. I don't get house to sleep because my house is already collapsed.
We lost everything. The families, we don't even have anywhere again to go to. The property has gone. We lost at least 15 from this house.
Wannan ma yara sun kira ne sun ce in zo in samu kayan da na samu muka sa mu samu mu wanke wanda za mu kwanta da tabarmi. Kwata-kwata ni ba sai inda, amma alhamdulillah dai bai ci yara ba, mun fita. Amma daga ni sai buje na hita, wannan an ara min ne, wannan ma an bani ne. Ko takalmin da ke jikina ban fita da komi ba a cikin gidanmu, ban ma san yanzu haka ina ne tushen gidanmu yake, ban san shi ba.
A bit of politics now. The Independent National Electoral Commission has scheduled the governorship elections in Ekiti and Osun states for June 20 and August 8, 2026. INEC Chairman Mahmoud Yakubu announced the date on Friday during the swearing-in ceremony of 6 newly appointed resident electoral commissioners. Yakubu said in line with the requirements of the law, the commission is obligated to publish the notices for major elections not later than 360 days before the date fixed for the election. He said the commission has approved the timetable and schedule of activities for the Ekiti and Osun state governorship elections. Yakubu also said that the commission is aware of the concerns expressed by many Nigerians about the pending by-elections and resumption of continuous worker registration nationwide. We now head to Edo State, where Governor Monday Okpowolo of Edo State has taken to the streets to celebrate his appeal court victory, affirming his election mandate. The judgment delivered in Abuja saw a 3-member panel of justices dismiss the petition filed by Sway Igodalo, the candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the September 21, 2024 governorship election. The appellate court upheld the earlier decision of the election tribunal, which had ruled in favor of Governor Okpowolo. Meanwhile, some of the members of the ruling party in the state expressed their views on the victory.
Our Governor Okpowolo just collect his victory from Supreme Court. So we are very excited. The victory is continuing, and we are seeing this massive work everywhere. So we are very happy. That's why the large crowd came out to come and celebrate with him.
I feel better. I feel great. I feel so high. I appreciate my party. I appreciate the force we are carrying in Edo State to make sure APC succeed. Come 2027, we are for Asiwaju. APC is ready to deliver Tinubu in this state.
I really want to thank God for giving us victory in these appeal courts. In fact, what the man is doing in Edo State gives us joy. We are all excited. We are happy. Just a few months ago, he became the governor. We can see the handwork of Okpewolo all over the state. Look at the overhead there. The flyover work is going on speedily, and we are happy.
Staying in Edo State, Governor Monday Okpewolo has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to eradicating cultism, kidnapping, and other crimes. Speaking at a youth interactive session in Benin, the governor declared that all security bodies must collaborate to eradicate cultism and related crimes. He warned that hideouts linked to kidnappers will be demolished and urged residents to report criminals. Youth leaders and police representatives praised the governor's bold approach while calling for accountability among law enforcement officers.
Edo State is our state. We need to join hands to build Edo together. The only way we can do that is to cooperate with the police, the army, the EFCC, the civil defense, the drug enforcement agencies. The issue of cultism and the issue of kidnapping, I'm going to fight to make sure that every Edo child, every Edo man, every Edo woman is safe. Because I'm a hard man, from cultism, from doing that cultism, they can go into kidnapping, they can commit any sort of crime. So we must fight that. We must fight that issue of cultism. We cannot stay away from it. If that is only my achievement in Edo State, I'll raise up my hand.
Once again, the southeast of Nigeria came to a standstill on Friday, May 30, 2025, as residents observed the sit-at-home order declared by the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra. In Umuahia, the Abia state capital, only skeletal commercial and public activities were seen. News Central's Chumogele reports.
Major roads and streets in Umuahia are largely deserted, with only a few vehicles seen moving. Markets, shops and commercial banks all remain shut, and transport hubs empty. Tricycle operators express disappointment over the lack of passengers.
It affects everybody. Everywhere is dry, so we are observing it. There is no passengers on the road. Everybody is sitting at home.
The thing is not moving as it normally used to be. Everywhere is just very somehow shadow. We are seeing it as in fact, we will not meet to our expectation today as I am seeing it this morning.
Before now, you would see traders and buyers milling around this place. You could barely find a space to walk through in this market. But today, the story is different. Frustration also loomed for some residents like Chimezi Godwin, who can't purchase food items for the day.
Because I came to buy some foodstuffs, and the people I used to buy from, I can't even find them. Definitely, I'm still going back to my house and maybe look for a car and pop and take.
Many residents condemned the sit-at-home directive and called for its immediate end.
So I don't think that the sit-at-home, that people should stay at home, and in any day that they say that people should sit at home.
For tricycle operator Joseph Okori, the solution lies with the federal government. He believes only decisive action can bring an end to the recurring order.
The problem is in their hands to solve. They know what they are doing. If they solve the problem now, there will be no sit at home again.
Meanwhile, security operatives are seen patrolling parts of the state capital as the few people out on the streets remain on high alert. There is no gainsaying the fact that the people of the zone are already exhibiting signs of exhaustion from the series of sit-at-home orders. Hopefully someday the people of the zone will be able to still move about without fear of having anyone disrupt their activities. because they do not understand the essence of the many sit-at-homes. In Omahia for News Central, Chinwe Ugebe.
A break will do here on the news. When we return, we'll bring you more stories. Don't go away. Now we tell you that communities in Imo State are calling on President Bola Tinubu to intervene in what they describe as the unlawful military occupation of their ancestral farmlands. Residents of the Mbaishi autonomous communities in Ngokpala local government area allege that armed security personnel have laid siege to over 30,000 hectares of farmland for nearly a year. News Central's Joshua Imarai reports from Abuja.
Spokespersons of the Mbaishi autonomous communities gathered in Abuja, decrying what they called the militarization and occupation of their farmlands by Nigerian security operatives. According to community leader Ugo Jim Nwoko, the siege began 9 months ago, with villagers restricted from accessing over 30,000 hectares of farmland. He traces the origin of the dispute to 2006, when a previous state government attempted to acquire part of the land for a Chinese village project, now abandoned.
We do recall that sometime in 2006, the Imo State government under Governor Chiku Udenwa had indicated interest in compulsorily acquiring about 2,000 hectares of land for a certain Chinese village. But the move was aborted following the insincerity of the handlers of the so-called acquisition and the consequential widespread opposition and multiple litigations by indigenous landowners and all other stakeholders against the perceived fraudulent acquisition.
Court judgments were later secured by 2 of the affected villages, nullifying the acquisition and restraining any further encroachment. However, the community claims those rulings have been ignored by the current administration.
While we were expecting to enjoy bountiful harvest from our 2024 farming season and also commence our 2025 farming season, our hopes were high and they were dashed with depression as we saw massive deployment of men of Nigerian military, police and other security agencies on the instruction of Imo State government from the beginning of 2025, destroying our farmlands and their yields.
They further allege that the disputed land has now been allocated to Zion Ministry Church for the construction of a religious center and industrial facility without their consent. The spokesperson said the heavy presence of armed personnel has created an atmosphere of fear, forcing many to abandon their ancestral homes.
We state further that ever since the deployment of the military, police, and other security personnel, our indigents have been intimidated and cowed, thereby giving Imo State government and the Zion Ministry the latitude to encroach on our farmlands, destroying all economic trees and other crops, which are the main economic sustenance of our agrarian economy.
While insisting they remain law-abiding, the communities are appealing to President Tinubu to withdraw military forces from the area, uphold the court verdicts, and restore access to their lands. In Abuja, for News Central, I am Joshua Imarai.
Nigeria's Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, has urged regimental sergeant majors in the Nigerian Army to uphold the highest standards of operational competence and maintain the esprit de corps of the Army, of which it is known for. The Army Chief made the call in Jos, the Plateau State capital, during his official visit to the closing ceremony of the maiden convention of all regimental sergeant majors across the country. The Central's Chizoba Anyume reports.
These regimental sergeant majors, otherwise known as RSMs, were drawn from formations and units across the country for the inaugural convention aimed at enhancing their technical knowledge and reinforcing leadership skills vital to military operations. Speaking during the event, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, expressed confidence that the convention would strengthen the Nigerian Army's efficiency and service delivery.
I am confident that inside skill will enhance our operational and administrative activities I also urge you to put them into practice through visible actions upon return to your various units and formations. It is essential to continuously counsel and mentor the subordinates, offering solutions to their problems, and when necessary, communicating relevant matters to your superior officers and commanders.
Oluyede also reaffirmed the Army's unwavering commitment to the service of the Nigerian people.
As I bring this convention to a close, I charge you all to take full ownership of the ASCOM and above all, demonstrate a renewed and more positive attitude towards the duties and responsibilities as regimental strategies. Once more, I wish to reaffirm that Nigeria remains committed in the discharge of its constitutional roles in the service to our great country, Nigeria.
The just concluded convention was held under the theme Cultivating Exemplary Professional Leadership for Improved Motivation and Operational Effectiveness in the Nigerian Army. In Plateau State for News Central, Chizoba Anyui.
Coming up on the news, 12 people, including 11 Sudanese migrants and a Libyan driver, killed in deadly auto accident. We'll bring you more on this and the rest of the stories in a bit. Join us again. In other parts of Africa, we tell you that 12 people, including 11 Sudanese migrants and a Libyan driver, have been confirmed dead after a deadly crash on Friday. According to emergency officials, the accident occurred 90 kilometers north of the border town of Kufra when the migrants' vehicle collided with a truck. Among the victims were 3 women and 2 children. This is the latest in a string of deadly incidents involving Sudanese migrants fleeing civil war. Earlier this month, 7 others were found dead after being stranded in the desert when their vehicle broke down. In sports, the draw for the WAFU Under-20 Nations Cup was concluded earlier today. Nigeria has been drawn in a tough Group B alongside Burkina Faso, Guinea, Niger Republic, and Mali. Group A features hosts Ghana, Togo, the Gambia, and Liberia, while Group C comprises of Senegal, Sierra Leone, Ivory Coast, and Benin Republic. This year's tournament is a combined competition of both WAFU Zone A and B. The tournament will be held in Ghana from June 15 to 30, 2025. And Manchester United ended their Asia tour with a 3-1 win over Hong Kong on Friday, with 16-year-old Chido scoring a second-half brace. Despite swirling transfer rumors, Bruno Fernandes started the match but was subbed at halftime alongside Alejandro Garnacho. The match, played in wet conditions before a near-capacity crowd, could mark the final appearance for both players in United colours, with their futures uncertain. United trailed early due to a goalkeeping error by Tom Heaton before Obi equalised and later put them ahead with a glancing header. Hayden Heaven sealed the win with a late goal. And manager Ruben Amorim, who oversaw a poor 15th place league finish, now faces a challenging off-season. And that's all at this hour, but then we look at our top story before we go. Suspended Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has hailed President Bola Tinubu's role in restoring peace in the state. And at least 88 people have been confirmed dead as death toll rises following devastating floods in Niger State. 12 people, including 11 Sudanese migrants and a Libyan driver, have been killed in a deadly auto accident. Don't forget to send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen. You can follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can also watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, Star Times 274, Avo TV, and of course YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Lekon Amabanjo.